everybody, and welcome to CMP, our Covenant Marriage Podcast. And thank you to Linden Tech and Westside Pizza in Blaine, Washington for your sponsorships.
Yeah, it's a really nice spot here. Come see them, Linden Tech in downtown Linden. They got a great little studio, great spot, and a really unique business that you should check out. All right. My name's AJ Hookema, and this is my wife, Cherisa Hookema. And we are coming together to just launch a podcast on marriage. Everybody's launching podcasts. We get that.
Why don't you go ahead and tell them what our vision statement is?
So our vision statement is we believe marriages don't have to dive or just survive, but we believe they can thrive.
And we have been all of those, right?
With Christ. And
we have been all of those. We've even
been diving
thrived.
and surviving.
Yeah, most of it. Barrel rolls, right?
Yeah. And we hope that we are thriving more than
in
not.
Christ. We've had a couple of egresses, like emergency egress and
Couple bailouts,
re-ingress.
couple renewing of our vows. So it's good.
Okay, so why don't we head over to the mission statement
So
then?
our mission statement is to share our story and promote transparency for marriages and to create hope and encouragement. So, and we, at the deepest level, we want that to be a spiritual hope and encouragement as you guys work out your faith together in marriage with Christ. But the transparency is we're really opening up our marriage and our life. We're going to talk about some fun things. We're going to talk about some hard things. We're going to talk about probably just normal things that that we are hoping, because we're pretty just normal, common people trying to survive this world, that you guys can get some encouragement. One thing, there's a lot of experts out there who have doctorates and they're experts in all this stuff. We're not that. We don't.
No.
We don't have.
We're not counselors.
Yeah, we're not counselors. We're not doctors. We're not surgical therapists that go in and just pow, 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 pow. In fact, we've gotten a lot of counseling. We've had a lot of help
Praise
from
God.
doctors.
Woo!
And they're amazing.
Amazing. Get counseling.
Totally promote counseling. It's
counseling.
Really good.
So let's go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to step back and I'm going to explain. We gave you the mission, the vision statement, and we told you why. Mm-hmm. But the epic part of all of this is God. God was in the center of all of this. Yep. For a long time, God has been putting desires on AJ's heart to do different things. And my man, he's a go-getter. Like, he wants to do it all. And a lot of times he does. He does 14 things kind of at a snail's pace because he's doing 14 things, but he does it all. And it's amazing. It's amazing. He gets it all done. He's successful. He's, that's where he finds his joy, is like God just pops these things into his head, and one after the other in succession, he does them well. Okay,
Thanks.
So
really
you're welcome.
Kind.
A snail's pace. But, sometimes a little bit faster than a snail's pace. Sometimes it drops off right in the middle because, ADHD is real. Distraction is alive. Anyway, so right around Christmas time this last year, 2023, I was praying. And I was trying to think of things that I could get for AJ. And God really impressed it upon my heart. Like, Cherisa, I've given him desires of his heart. I want you to start to feed into the desires that I've placed upon his heart. And when you are not doing that, you are not only sinning against your husband, but you're sinning against me. You are not allowing your husband to fully grow and feel fulfillment in the desires that I have given him. And so those are going, they're being shackled and they're being put in a cellar and kicked down the stairs, right? Like, to not fulfill the things that God has put on your heart. So this year, I was very intentional in the gifts that I bought AJ, that I got him for Christmas. And they looked like things that would help promote different businesses and desires of his heart that he has. One of them, which I was very afraid to do, but I no longer am, is this marriage podcast. And why was I afraid to do this marriage podcast?
Because it's scary.
Yeah, look at me. I don't know anything about marriage. I'm in 14 years and I feel like I am still finding out things about you every day. Some I like, some I don't love.
Some she really likes.
Anyways, so what I do like is that we're fun. What I do like is we joke a lot. What I do like is that we're really good at having a child-like marriage. But in child-like, also sometimes we get childish. We get stubborn and we get
Poopy-faced.
poopy-faced. Yeah. So we're hoping that in acting a little more childlike, you might be able to see that some of the things that you're getting caught up in maybe aren't necessarily a big deal. Maybe you could let them go. I realized, man, I'm getting off on a tangent here. You got to cut me off sometimes.
Well, then I cut you off.
Well, one thing I do want to say.
Go for it. I'm dying to hear it.
Well, now I can't remember.
So I heard somebody talk. I don't know. He's a marriage expert guy, but he was saying that most of the things that you fight over all the time in your marriage, most of those surveyed marriages said absolutely wouldn't get divorced over those things. So just know that like fighting's normal. You know, you got to learn how to fight well.
I just read this to him. It's from Focus on the Family.
Some person out there said this. And so there's so much data out there. I don't know. I don't get caught up too much on it. But we're here to just dive into our lives, into our marriage. We're hoping we're going to grow through all this. We're going to hope that you and your spouse will grow through all this. We have 4 kids. I'm sure we'll talk about marriage while you're parenting.
Woo. Blessing.
But yeah, we really want to go on a journey. And it's really a journey into our marriage. And you guys might find some tools you can use. You might find some agreements you can use. You might go, we would never do that because we're not the babies in the family.
It came back to me. Here it is.
Yes, go.
Okay. In my first marriage, my expectations for my husband were off the charts. I mean, like we were both under a religious thumb that we could not get out from under. And if we didn't check all these boxes, then we were, going to hell or not good, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, so for my ex-husband, he felt so much pressure to be X, Y, and Z all the time, right? And I would hold him to those standards because I held myself to those standards. When I married AJ, I made allowances for some of the things that my ex-husband would do that I wouldn't. And the difference was that I now had Christ who taught me how to truly, deeply love my husband and is still teaching me every day. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, me too.
And I deeply loved you. And I think that my first marriage for both me and my ex-husband was one out of convenience, really.
Mm-hmm.
Which you were not a convenience for me. I could have had any, yeah.
Yeah, I mean. And my first marriage, I came into it with great expectations for my wife.
Well, how do you feel about, how did I do, babe?
She crushed all of them.
I can't whistle.
Is there a whistle button? No,
I don't even know what,
no idea.
You gotta turn it up. Okay, now push it. Nope.
And my wife, I had all these religious expectations.
New button.
New button. All right. And there was, I had a list, and I wanted my wife to be all these just super fleeting things.
No facial hair.
Yeah, right?
I'm Hawaiian.
Or like had to be, it was just ridiculous. And I think back to my immature self and going, man, like why on earth did I think those things? Largely, I thought the things I wanted were things that lined up in the world of sex. That's really what it was. Yeah. Like, oh, this is what marriage is. It's got to be about sex, because I can do, so much in my life without a wife, but the only thing I can't do is sex without a wife. So that's what marriage must be. And I got shattered because this helpmate helped God totally break into my soul and reshape who he thought I was, not what I thought I was. And
but I don't think
it's
that
amazing.
at the time when you made that list, you were probably 16, 17 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah.
If I go back to when I was 16 and 17 years old, I go, yeah. Yeah, because we didn't know anything about marriage. We're still learning, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay to make mistakes. I think we're okay to have to come out of incorrect thinking. I think that's a part of the sanctification process.
It's the journey that we have to go on.
Totally. Yeah.
As we move with Christ. So anyway, yeah, she's been just a rock star.
But not always.
Yeah. Overall,
I've grown.
I think both of us have been rock stars.
Yeah, we've come a long way from
where we were
flipping
at.
game boards and
Anyway, we'll get into all these things.
If you've ever played Scrabble as a dyslexic, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of our heart's desire, is to just share our life a little bit with you guys. Hopefully it's not super boring. We've got a lot of stuff that we want to bring to the world, and we have a lot of stuff that we want you guys' feedback to bring into our lives. We're going to take this journey, and we're still trying to structure and figure out if we're just going to go through our storyline and then everything's going to be brought up in our storyline. If we're going to talk about topics, we'd like to bring other couples in and interview, as this goes along, and it builds to bring expertise, into this venue where we might not have experienced something, to talk about. So,
yeah, we might get new microphones because I think I've hit my chin and lips on this thing like 18 times during this podcast. So we're learning.
But we are so thankful that anybody has watched this. And
Hi, Mom.
We're excited to
my mom's
to
not going
just
to
go
watch
on this journey with everybody and tell our story. So if you want to learn about our story, please tune in. We're going to kind of share it with the world. So.
Oh, and one last thing I just wanted to plug in there is that this week we're going to give away a medium-sized pizza free from Westside Blaine. As a part of our podcast, we just want to encourage you guys. So go ahead and drop your name in the comments, and we'll do a raffle, and we'll announce it later on this week.
It might be a large. If it's a married couple, I can eat a medium by myself.
We agree 100% of the time.
It's probably going to be a large. Anyway.
Maybe a 16-piece wing. Okay, we'll change it. Large pizza, no more than 5 toppings. 4 toppings?
Do all of them. Whatever you want.
Okay. Large pizza or a 16-piece wing or a breadstick.
Yeah.
Or pasta.
Yeah, it's got to be a date, though. You got to go into...
You get one of those.
Into Westside in
one
Blaine.
Of those.
So it's just a fun date night. There's arcades there. We'll hook it up. Anyway, I love you. I think you're beautiful.
Thanks.
You're my biggest...
AJ's words of encouragement.
You're my biggest fan.
And I suck at it.
And I'm your biggest fan.
One time he told me, babe, you're my true north. And I said, and you're my Southern Cross, because I'm uncomfortable with using my words.
Not a words of encouragement, girl. Anyway, we'll get into that. Thank you, guys. God bless you. We pray, and we have been praying for those who are listening, that God would just touch you in new, fresh, restorative ways in your marriage as we go through this. All right, you guys have a great day. I don't know what to do.
Signing out.
I'm going to try and cut the recording.